expressed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions expressed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of WBGR Network. Any questions or concerns about what is said should be directed to the show host, whose information will be provided upon request.
My Brother's Keeper Show, I gotta let them know. Tuesday, 7 p.m., gotta let them know. 3 M's meant to model, gotta multiply. God gets all the glory, hands in the sky. My Brother's Keeper Show, I gotta let them know. Tuesday, 7 p.m., gotta let them know. 3 M's meant to model, gotta multiply. God gets all the glory, hands in the sky. My Brother's Keeper Show. Introduce the host. My Brother's Keeper Show. Introduce the host, Pastor Dr. Michael Green.
Yeah, how about that? Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the greatest show on this side of greatness. And of course, it is My Brother's Keeper, and this is where greater men continue to make men great. With Tony the Tiger, terrific Tuesday. It's great. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, sitting alongside me this evening is the one and only Dr. Bryan Champion.
Amen.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Also like to welcome Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, New Jersey, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and Virginia area. Also going across to the West Coast, like to welcome Pomona, California, Ontario, California, the Bridge Network, Bishop Jelani Kafela, thank you so much for joining in and for your support. Also, the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church, Bishop James Bernard Walker. I'd like to give a shout out of happy birthday to you, sir. Happy birthday. And again, thank you so much for your continued support. Again, the call-in number is 301-429-9247, 301 WBGR. Also, remember, you can catch us on Roku, downloading the app, the WBGR app, as well as Fire Stick and Apple Television. Definitely, you can tune in to watch us on the big screen in your home. So we definitely welcome. Just take a pause for the calls one moment. Let me get this line. That'll be Mr. Willie Jolley calling in and joining us via telephone conference. One moment, please. My brother's keeper.
My brother.
What's going on, sir? How you feel?
Doing great.
Absolutely. Just give us one moment. Let us finish with the housekeeping rules, and we're going to bring you right on in. How about that?
Sounds good.
My man. All right. Also, thank you so much again for joining us. Please like and share. Definitely the show will be up and available on YouTube, My Brother's Keeper channel, after the show. Definitely thank you so much for tuning in. Just a few more housekeeping rules. This past week was like off the chain. Of course, we had the KM3 retreat with St. Matthew CME Church, and yours truly over there was one of the conference speakers, and he brought the noise. Man, you guys did the doggone thing, man. It was definitely powerful. We do know that it was born in pain, but birthed through prayer. And talking about the pain, the prayer, and the power in the life of Jabez, 1 Chronicles 4, 9 and 10, definitely phenomenal. I'd like to give a shout out for the bonfire, Brother Gino Payton and Brother Keith Tibbs. And you guys did the doggone thing for the bonfire, set the atmosphere for the young men as they came in and joined us. And don't you know that we had some young men who never had graham crackers and marshmallows before, roasted, you know. So, I mean, it was really kind of funny, but at the same time, it's real because, again, then a lot of times we're not exposed to certain things. Being metropolitan young men, we're not exposed to a lot of the country living. That's so true. Definitely we had an awesome time around the bonfire where we were able to just really fellowship with one another. And of course, that Saturday morning, waking up to the awesome teaching of Reverend Alfred Harrison and also Reverend Ernest Richards also brought the noise, man, and the attendance. We're God thankful for everyone who came in and attended the retreat. Definitely power packed and awesome. And of course, yours truly, myself, presented one of the classes, and it was definitely awesome. And then Dr. Champion also came in, and he cleaned it all up. Definitely, man. Thank you so much for your willingness to come and be a part of the men's fellowship. My brother's keeper and ministry to men. Amen. At St. Matthew CME Church, man.
Well, now I just say thank you for the opportunity to come and share with you. Last week was one of those weeks where we went through a lot of change.
Yes.
And a lot of things didn't go the way they were supposed to go.
Yes.
But the way it worked out, God allowed me to be able to be there and share with you all Saturday morning. And so I'm thankful for the invitation, the opportunity, and for the fellowship of the men, because we had a great time. So thank you. And we all the rules hadn't come out yet that we're now living under.
Yes.
And so we were comfortable sharing some of our space together.
Yes.
As you see today, it's not because we fell out during the retreat. We kind of a little further apart today because we're respecting this piece of social distancing.
Yes.
And so, sometimes we tend to say those that we're close to that it's all right if we share, but it ain't personal. But we're respecting that, because if we're going to put it into this thing, we got to live by the directions that we have been given. So we're here today sharing, and we're still going to do the show.
Yes, absolutely. And we do have Mr. Willie Jolley on the line, and he's also agreed to continue to move forward, but also respecting those boundaries as well. And we're God thankful for Mr. Jolley. So definitely, I just wanted to just throw that retreat out there, man, because it was powerful, man. It was very powerful. And it really blessed me because, again, we're talking about at a time when everything was shifting, and we're talking about prayer. Right. And coming in spite of the pain of Jabez, he taught us how to, God of Israel, bless me. Enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, and keep me from evil, that I may do no harm. Man, it was blessed. It was blessed. And again, thank you so much. Also, a shout out to our regional ministry to men. Director Anthony Smokes came down from New Jersey. Thank you so much for coming in and fellowshipping with us. Thank you so much. Greatly.
Amen.
All right. Hey, now I'd like to get into our African-American person.
Okay, African-American person of interest. Through all that we've been going through, like I said, a whole lot has changed from last week to this week, and we have really began to live the effects of what we're not sure of. And in this coronavirus disease and its spread, as we're seeing, it's getting closer and closer to us. But the person I chose to look at today and pay attention to was Dr. Jerome Adams. And Dr. Jerome Adams is the Surgeon General of the United States.
Absolutely.
And he is in the middle of this whole plan to lead us to a safe and healthy place. But I just kind of wanted to acknowledge him today. He is a Vice Admiral in the Public Health Service Commission Corp. Raised here fairly local in Mechanicsville, Maryland. Attended University of Maryland, Baltimore County. We know it as UMBC. And he was on a full scholarship he was under full scholarship that was dedicated toward giving minority students who were interested in science. He left there and went to Indiana University School of Medicine, where he was an Eli fellow and scholar, where he got his medical degree. And his master's in public health from the University of California, Berkeley. After 2 years of private practice, he returned to Indiana University, where he became a professor of anesthesiology. But in 2014, he was appointed the Indiana State Health Commissioner. And in 2017, he was nominated and confirmed the 20th Surgeon General of the United States. One of the things that I just kind of just mentioned is that as his platform, and he said his interest was going to be, an emphasis was on educating people on the risk of the opioid crisis and the misuse of over-the-counter drugs, as well as looking at mental illness. Another thing we just want to talk about, here we talk about a servant, not of just this country, but just a servant. He made the news on another occasion while he was on a flight going to Jackson, Mississippi, and there was a medical emergency, and he was on the plane, and he was able to attend to the individual having the medical emergency. And we talk about servant, and you know, when you up there in the air,
yes, sir.
You plan it by happenstance of who might be on that plane, but this person was blessed to have Jerome Adams.
Yes, sir.
In flight.
Not just a doctor.
Right.
But
right. In flight. They had Dr. Jerome Adams, the Surgeon General. And as we say, we like to acknowledge these African American persons of interest, not just focusing on those who have gone beyond, but also those who are still contributing to our society. And we thank God for Dr. Adams because he's the man that's going to lead us past this coronavirus into a safe and healthy America. So God bless you, and thank you today, Dr. Adams, as our African American person of interest.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this next person that will be coming up is definitely no stranger to us. Mr. Willie Jolley definitely has been a previous guest on the show, and he and his wonderful wife, Miss Dee Taylor Jolley, were on the show featuring their latest book, Making Love, Making Money, and Making It Last, as well as among other accomplishments. But definitely after this commercial break, the next voice you'll hear joining the show will be that of Mr. It Only Takes a Second, Willie Jolley. We'll be right back after this.
State and local government exercise very important functions in the United States. They are responsible for creating state legislation which can become state law. They plan and pay for roads, run public schools, parks and libraries, provide water and utilities, and organize law enforcement, elections, and much more. As citizens, local government is more easily obtainable and are the means in which we communicate to the federal government. This is why it is important that we vote in more than just primary presidential elections. Midterm and local elections are just as, if not more, important for our communities and its efficiency. Resistance is local. Criminal justice reform is local. Gentrification is local. And the right to vote is a privilege that once was not granted to all citizens because of their gender, race, or ethnicity. So today, we are all afforded this right, and we should vote at every given opportunity, simply because we can. For more information on voting in poll areas, please visit the link below.
You have to say that to, like you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. And, of course, we do have Mr. Willie Jolley, who is joining us via telephone. And we will actually, surprisingly, found out that he has just produced and released a single, We Will Get Through This. And I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about it and how you can purchase the song equally as well. But, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Willie Jolley.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it. But it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account. If I abuse it, just a tiny little minute. But our eternity is wrapped up in it. So greetings to all the folks there at the studio.
Amen.
All the folks who are watching, and even the people who might be listening.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how you're getting this to you, but whatever way it comes to you, I hope it will be a blessing to you and that you will leave better after this than when you came onto this line.
Yes, sir.
So, thank you. Yeah, I'm grateful that we have a song that was just released over the weekend.
Yes, sir.
I woke up in the middle of the night last week with a reminder of a conversation I'd had about one of my mentors in the speaking business named Charlie Tremendous Jones. Now, Charlie Tremendous Jones was one of the preeminent of the first wave of motivational speakers in America back in the 1950s. You had Charlie Tremendous Jones, you had Norman Vincent Peale, you had a lot of the old guard who were the trailblazers for speaking and professional speaking. Well, I had the honor of being on an event at the Crystal Cathedral in Garden Grove, California, where Charlie was a featured speaker. We became friends.
That's all right.
And soon thereafter, we got a call from the Crystal Cathedral saying the response to the tour was so outstanding that we've got people who want to bring it to their city. So we did actually a Crystal Cathedral Men's Conference tour. And so I get to have dinner with Charlie every night. And Charlie was a big, gregarious guy, but he'd get in your face and say, you got to do this, you got to do that if you want to be successful. One time in the midst of an economic downturn in America, Charlie walked into the room of all the Hall of Fame speakers. And he had been one of the early Hall of Fame, and I was one of the newbies. But all the Hall of Fame speakers were meeting at the National Convention of the National Speakers Association. And Charlie walked in and said, okay, guys, ladies and gentlemen, America's in trouble. They need your message. I know your business is hurting. I know you've had speeches canceled and conferences postponed and your dollars are short. But that's not as important as why you're here. It's time for you to do what you are supposed to do. Serve people. Help people.
Yes, sir.
Encourage people. Uplift people. So, stop thumb sucking and go to work. Woo! That was Charlie Tremendous Jones.
Yes, sir.
He said, you can't be a thumb sucker. Get to work. So when I woke up in the middle of the night, sat straight up out of my bed and said, you know what? I know all my speaking engagements have been postponed and or canceled. And it's been a tough challenge. But I said, you know what? I'll get through this. And that's when we'll get through this. And it's like, that's when it popped in my head, where I got to get that song out. I had recorded a song a number of years ago with a group of producers. We recorded a lot of songs at that time. And we're planning to put them out. But then my speaking business got busy and the books took off. And I just couldn't focus on all of the things. So I just put that on the back burner. So I went back into my vault, had to go find it. I couldn't find the song. Finally, I found it. I pulled it out, I played it. And I said, wow, we'll get through this.
Yes, sir.
We'll break new ground.
Yes, sir.
When your life is tough and your hope is lost, there's a help to be found. around.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
get through this.
That's all right.
Oh, man, that thing blessed me. I said, okay.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to get it. That was like Saturday. And I said, okay, let me make some calls. I called a couple of my radio folks and said, look, I need to send this to you. Just let me know what you think. And one of those people, Jackie Gales Webb, who's the host of the Afternoon Gospel on WHUR, has been an icon here in Washington for decades. She called me that night and said, I'm playing this. I'm playing this.
Yes, sir.
This is exactly what we need to hear.
That's it.
People need
That's
to hear
it.
that. So she played it Sunday afternoon, and people have been buzzing about it since. And
Yes, sir.
today we sent it out to our global list to say to people, look, if you want to buy it, great. But if you want to play it just on our SoundCloud, I don't care. That's not my reason for doing it. You know, my reason is to inspire you and empower you and uplift you and say, hey, don't
Wow.
let this take you out.
Yes, sir.
And one other thing, this is not just about a time when we're protecting or we're concerned with our physical health and staying away from the virus so that we don't have that disease to attack our bodies. But there's the mental health.
Yes,
the
sir.
mental health, people are struggling
Yes,
with
sir.
anxiety, with fear. How are they going to pay their bills? How are they going to survive? You can't go to a restaurant. You can't go to a gym. You can't go to a movie. You can't go do yoga. You
Yes,
can't
sir.
do anything to relax. You are stuck in your house. You got no money. What are you going to do? Well, let me tell you. Here's what I said.
Go ahead.
We'll get through this.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We'll get through this. You're going to get through this. And together, we will get through this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's very powerful. We were sitting here even listening to it in the studio just before the show, and Dr. Champion was saying, man, do you hear the range of his voice?
Amen.
And the comment said,
Now and then, the Lord lets a little birdie loose in my throat.
it's definitely a powerful song.
You know, I used to be
Definitely.
a full-time singer, for those who don't know, because a lot of folks really don't know that, even though they know me from radio.
Uh-huh.
They see me on television. They've read they've probably read some of my books, and they'll think of me as Willie Jolley, the motivational speaker. But before I became a motivational speaker, I was a singer. I was a professional singer. I did jingles. I did radio commercials. I did jazz clubs.
Wow.
I did performances. I worked with Gene Carn and Phyllis Hyman. I traveled with them, and I performed with a lot of groups. I had a record deal with CBS Records with a group called The Deuce, and so I was singing full time before I became a speaker, and so I guess this is a throwback. So what I wanted to talk to the folks were, one, I want to encourage them
Yes.
to hear that song,
Yes,
and
sir.
they can actually, it's now up on the streaming site, so you can go and hear some of them on Apple Music or whatever,
Okay.
wherever you stream your music.
Okay.
It's called We'll Get Through This with Willie Jolley. Now, that said, and I guess we'll find I hadn't thought about it. I'm glad we're talking, because there's some people who might go to my website, so we'll put it up on
Absolutely.
withwillie.com.
Absolutely.
We'll make it
Absolutely. And I did see it. It is available on Apple.
Apple, it is available on
iTunes,
Apple.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely. But even
So-
as you talked about your song, "We'll Get Through This," in this time, what are some of the ways that you see us getting through this pandemic, all this anxiety of the coronavirus?
Yes. Well, look, this week on my XM show, I did a show about this whole topic because I've seen crisis before. This is not the first time I've seen crisis, and I want to tell people what I've learned through those crises. The first time was right after 9/11. 9/11, we had a crisis in America. People stopped going to conferences. People stopped flying.
Yes, sir.
And my business went south for a while. But we got through it. And then in 2008, the economic bubble burst. And conferences canceled. And people stopped traveling. And then I got a call in 2000, around that time, to work with Ford Motor Company. during the economic downturn. And I worked before 2006, 2007, 2008. And in 2009, they were able to reject the government bailout. And I learned lessons from that crisis, how to get through crisis. So here are the principles that I want to share with folks. And these are taken from my book, Turn Setbacks into Greenbacks. How many need some greenbacks?
Come on. I mean, need some greenbacks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So to get setbacks into greenbacks, there are going to be 7 principles.
Okay.
That are in the book. And
yes, sir.
You actually can get the book at williejolly.com/greenback. You get the whole package, the book, the audio. In fact, you get the book and you get the live CD of my message, which was very powerful. And you get the digital book thrown in. It's a great package. So here's the deal. 7 principles. Number one, don't panic. Don't panic. Panic is taken from the Greek word to choke. When you panic, you choke off the air to your brain. Now, when you choke off the air to your brain, you cannot think clearly. You cannot think clearly. You cannot make wise decisions. You cannot make wise decisions. What will happen when you need to make a decision? You end up making a poor decision. 1929, there was a stock market crash. People panicked. Some jumped off of bridges. Some blew their brains out. Not realizing the market would come back bigger and better than ever. The lesson is that this too shall pass.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stay calm so you can think your way through this. You got to think your way through this situation so that you don't, one, contract the illness by not thinking and taking it seriously. Some people, and we see a lot of people haven't taken it serious, young people, and we're seeing people hang out in groups of people and go to bars, and you know what? That's not smart. So don't panic, but think your way through this. Number 2, don't willingly participate nor commiserate. Don't willingly participate nor commiserate. By willingly participate in this anxiety. Participate in getting sick.
That's right.
They say wash your hands. You know what I recommend you do? Wash your hands.
That's it.
Anthony Fauci, Dr. Fauci, I trust what he said. He tells the truth. He tells the president, you don't know what you're talking about. He tells everybody, here's the truth. I don't got time to be sugarcoating it. So, he says wash your hands, 1. Don't participate in large crowd events, 2. And make sure you have social distancing. You don't know who's sick. Everybody look good. Okay? Everybody look good. But somebody might be sick who look good. So, don't participate. But then don't commiserate. Now, what that means is don't buy into the gloom and doom so much that it makes you sick, mentally or physically. You know, if you ever take a sponge and you put it in water, there comes a time when it's totally saturated. It cannot absorb any more water. And then it becomes useless. Same is true for our psyche, our thinking.
Wow.
That there comes a point where we can't take any more bad news. So that's why I say, get the news, turn it off for a few minutes, get the facts, then turn it off. Turn it off. Limit your news. Some people are on it 24/7.
Yeah.
Can't sleep, can't eat, scared to death. No, you gotta have time for some self-care. What does that mean? First, some mental self-care. What are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you doing to inspire, uplift yourself? Maybe go for a walk. Get outside. Get some vitamin D. Get some fresh air. Because if the more you look at it, the more you talk about how people are losing their jobs, how everybody is losing it, it's going to impact you in a way that will make you overwhelmed. It will stricken you. You become catatonic. No. I sleep like a baby at night. I sleep like a baby because I made up my mind. This too will pass.
Amen.
I'm not going to overwhelm myself with this bad news on the television. I'm reading and listening to positive stuff. I'm encouraging myself. I'm encouraging my staff. I'm finding things that encourage me. And I'm not commiserating.
Yes, absolutely.
Not buying into the gloom and doom. So, don't panic. Don't willingly participate, nor commiserate. Number 3, don't let your pride poison your prosperity.
Woo!
Come on now. Don't let your pride poison your prosperity. What does that mean? Well, we are told to stay home. Yep, we need money. Maybe we can do something from home that generates money that helps people wherever they may be, i.e., about the kind of prosperity. You know, I would say that, you know, maybe you got to drive Uber to pay your bills. Now, Uber has shut down all of the group Uber, so it is a one-to-one. You might have to drive Uber just to pay your bills. Hey, look, it's okay. It's okay. Now, let me tell you a story out of my book, Church Setbacks and Greenbacks. I interviewed a guy named Duke Green. Duke Green was one of the top IT big corporate company owners of the 1970s. First black person to get major, huge IT contracts. He became multi-millionaire. But he had built this company called IBS and International Business Systems. And he hired the best and the brightest from Howard University and from Harvard and MIT. Well, in the 1970s, y'all might not be old enough to remember, but I remember it well. Back in the 1970s, there was a recession. And gas was rationed. And money was tight. And so Duke Green did not want to lose any of these great employees that he had worked so hard to hire. So when the money got tight, what he did was took the money from his personal savings to pay his staff.
Wow.
And he did that for a number of months. But then he ran out of his personal money to pay his own bills. So he had enough to keep paying his staff for a while, but he couldn't pay his staff and himself and take care of his own mortgage and so forth. So what he decided to do was to work as the CEO of IBS Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. He'd get dinner, then he'd go to work in his second job as a truck driver. At night, he drove trash trucks from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m.
That's all right.
He said, I drove trash trucks when I was in college to get me through. I could do it again.
Amen.
He did that for almost a year until the economy got better. Money loosened up. And he was able to go back to just being the CEO. But because of that, he didn't have to fire one person.
Wow.
And because of that, his company grew with these great people he was able to keep. And because of that, a number of years later, he was able to sell that company that he had held together in a tough time for $500 million.
Wow. Wow.
And it just shows you what's possible.
When you don't let your pride poison your prosperity.
You got it. Let your pride poison your prosperity. This is not fair. This won't last. You know, I like to think about Bob Johnson, America's first black billionaire, who told me when I interviewed him on my XM show. He said, you know, people used to laugh at me when I told them I was starting a black television network.
Wow.
See, they would laugh at me when I ride around in my old hoopty car with my handmade signs going to the trade shows trying to get somebody to advertise with us. They laughed at me, but I didn't care because I was willing to bet on myself.
Yes, sir.
B-E-T.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bet on myself. So you might have to bet on yourself and not let your pride poison your prosperity. Now, one more story. Back during the government shutdown, thought about the fact that the income had stopped.
Mm-hmm.
They need to pay their bills. They said, what are we going to do? They said, you know what, Mama taught us how to make them cheesecakes.
Yes, sir.
And they made them cheesecakes.
Yes, sir.
And those cheesecakes started selling like hotcakes. We shipped them all over the country.
Yes.
Well, the government finally came back.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't stop making cheesecakes. Now they got a serious cheesecake business.
Come on.
Because they didn't let their pride poison their prosperity.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
All right, now, number four. Don't stop thinking about the power and the possibilities of tomorrow. When you're going through a crisis, whether it's an economic crisis, you're about to lose your house, or any other crisis, you gotta put some energy on that problem. You cannot stick your head in the ground and ignore it. You gotta put some time and energy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You gotta take an eye and put it on that problem.
Yes, sir.
Put on it. But while you got one eye on that problem, never take that other eye off that long-term goal and dream.
Mm-hmm.
What is that thing that gets you up? Is it just to get through this little crisis?
Wow.
No.
Wow.
What I'm thinking about is not just this crisis. I can deal with this for 2 weeks in the house or whatever it takes. But I got the bigger goal.
Mm-hmm.
I got the bigger vision. What I'm trying to achieve this year. What I'm trying to accomplish. I set some goals at the beginning of the year, and those goals are going to drive me. Not in just this year, but this decade. You know, when we were there with you last month, I told you about the fact that you can't just set goals for the year or for the decade. You got to set goals for generations.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
And so I'm encouraging people to keep a big goal. Keep a big goal. If the dream is big enough, the problems don't matter. Chapter number 3 of my book is Setbacks Set Up for Recovery. If the dream is big enough, problems don't matter. I do want to encourage people, if you not set your goals, you don't have that big goal, you need help in that. I want you to go to williejolly.com/win. williejolly.com/win. W-I-N. We want to help people win. And you might know I'm on Get Up Morning with Eric Campbell show every morning at 8:20 with a show called Wake Up and Win with Dr. Willie Jolley. But my Get Up and by williejolly.com/win is my goal setting seminar that you can actually take it and get access to right there at that place and go through it. It's about 4 hours, but it's worth every time and every moment you go through it with your family. I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to do that. Okay, all right, look, I know time is
We're going to put that in the thread as well.
Yeah, do that. All right, so we got don't panic, don't willingly participate nor commiserate, don't let your pride poison your prosperity.
Yes, sir.
Don't stop thinking about the power and possibilities of tomorrow. Next one is be proactive. You got to be proactive during these times. Now, what does that mean? Proactive. That means don't wait for your ship to come in. Swim out to it, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Swim out to it. That proactive was something that was taken from a guy named Dr. Stephen Covey, who wrote a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I had the honor and privilege of doing 3 days of events with Dr. Covey in Australia some years ago. And it blessed me because I got to know him, and he actually ended up writing a foreword for my book, An Attitude of Excellence. But that whole proactive, nobody had talked about being proactive. Don't wait for things to happen. Make things happen. Now what you say, well, I'm stuck in the house. Okay, so what? You got a computer? Yeah. You got a brain? Yeah. You got a phone? Yeah. Well, you can make something happen. Okay? You gotta make something happen. Don't wait for things to happen.
Make them happen. I hear you.
You know, make them happen. What are your goals and dreams? Go back to goals and dreams. What do you say? Okay, you got to think of new ways to do it. Maybe you use Zoom. Maybe you use FaceTime to deal with clients. But we're trying to make all sorts of new things happen. So that's when I said I want to be proactive about this music. Well, my speaking's shutting down.
Yes, sir.
I can't go to speak. Nobody can be in a room more than 10 people. And nobody can travel to where I want to. They're bringing me to a conference or big convention or big rally.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Dr. Jolley, let me throw something in there. A monkey wrench in there. What if you don't like the people that you're living with?
Now, you know what? If you don't like the people you live with,
You got bigger problems. That's number 8.
I'll tell you what you can do. You can tell them that you're sick and you need to be quarantined. And you can be in the room by yourself and say, leave me alone.
Okay.
That's funny. All right, so proactive, be proactive. Next one, be creative.
Yes, sir.
You gotta be creative. And everybody has creativity within their body, their being. They often just don't use it. So I want you to start thinking about what it is you want to achieve. And then take out a pad and a piece of paper. A pad and a pencil. Right at the top of it, how can I achieve X? Not if I can achieve X, because your mind is already conditioned to say no. But how can I? So you've already superseded the if you can do it, and it's gone into how can I do it. And I want you to write every idea. Just sit there. Fill up the page with ideas. Every idea. Stupid ones, crazy ones, ridiculous ones. I don't care what. Write them all down.
Exceedingly and abundantly.
Yeah. Just write it down. Now, let me tell you something. Some people will edit themselves. They will try and edit themselves and say, well, you know, that doesn't make sense, or that wouldn't work. No. Don't edit. Write them all down. All. Don't edit. Let me tell you why that's important. Remember that somebody came up with a crazy idea called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A millionaire.
Yes, sir.
Somebody came up with a stupid, crazy idea called the Pet Rock. They put a rock in a box, and they sold it in stores and made millions.
The mood ring. Remember those?
Crazy.
Wow.
Okay,
You remember that one, right?
Creative thinking.
You don't have one?
That's all it was.
Yes, sir. Creative thinking.
So, don't panic. Don't willingly participate. Don't commiserate. Don't let your pride poison your prosperity. Don't stop thinking about the power and possibilities of tomorrow. Be proactive. Be creative. And number 7, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Be prayerful.
Be prayerful.
Now, I actually have a trick question, a trick point of this. That's actually number 1.
Yes,
If you're
sir.
going through a crisis, first thing you do is pray. But I purposely put it at number 7 for a reason.
Talk to me.
Because many people of faith, far too many people of faith, will pray and do nothing else.
Wow.
They will pray and do nothing else. Come up to me one day, says to me, hey, Willie Jolley, I listen to you on the radio. You know, I need a job. I said, okay, what are you doing to get a job? She said, well, I prayed about it. I said, that's very good. What else? She said, oh, that's all. My Bible tells me that faith without works is dead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It tells me that you must ask and you will receive.
Yes,
you
sir.
must seek and you shall find, and you will knock and the door will open to you. For everyone that asks receives, everyone that seeks finds, everyone knocks and the door is open.
Yes,
Notice it says if you take this action, that's when you get the blessing.
Yes, sir.
Most
Yes,
people
sir.
receive not
Yes, sir.
because they ask not, they seek not, they knock not, then they wonder why not.
Amen.
Chinese have a proverb that I love.
Go ahead.
They say that he or she who waits for barbecued roasted duck to fly into his mouth wait a long time.
I was dying of starvation.
I love what Wally, Famous Amos. My dear friend Wally Famous Amos said to me on my XM show, he said most people are praying for God to drop something in their lap.
Amen.
He said, I have learned that if you want God to drop something in your lap,
Yes, sir.
you better put your lap where God dropping stuff.
You know, that,
We gotta act. We gotta act on these.
Yes, sir.
These
Yes, sir.
things.
that's right.
Pray. Grandma used to say, pray, then move your feet.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right? You gotta have feet-moving prayer. You gotta have prayer to get up after you finish praying and God start walking. That's what I'm saying to folks. Come on, folks.
Yes, sir.
It's time
Yes, sir.
for us to get busy.
Yes,
We
sir.
stuck in the house. Yeah, money's short, but that doesn't mean that it can't be generated.
Yeah.
You got creativity. You got skills. These gentlemen started a radio program and a television program on an internet-based platform because they were willing to take a shot. Now they built
sir.
an audience.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Yes,
People are
sir.
looking. Last time I was shocked at how many people, after we did the last interview, reached out to us.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, so here's my offer. I got to give an offer because there's
Okay.
no people saying, well, I want something. Well, we want to give you something.
Okay, go ahead.
First thing I'm going to give you, and then I'm going to offer you something. First I'm going to give you is that if you go to wjspeaks.com/gift, wjspeaks.com/gift, you get ebooks, audios, videos, stuff, all on this free page just to inspire you,
Yes, sir.
just to empower you, uplift
Yes, sir.
you.
Yes,
so
sir.
wjspeaks.com/gift. Put your email in so you can get access to the books can be sent to you, and you can get access to all that.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's the giveaway. Now let me give you what you should buy. You should be getting the setback as a setup for a comeback. My setback is a setup for a comeback
Yes, sir.
package. That's what you need to have. So that's what we're going through right now. We're going through a setback.
Yes, sir.
But that book will help you come back. Oh, that's for sure. That book will help you win in these tough, challenging times. That book will help you succeed and will help you go to the next level. So I want everybody, Lottie, Dottie, and everybody to go to get some of the resources we have for you that will help you to win. If you will simply go to, let's see, what's the best site to send you to? I've got a new, today, in fact, we're doing a new reach out to help people come back stronger after this thing. So if you will go to, let's see, start to come back today, and you'll go to williejolly.com/.
Yeah, you can buy the book on your
Our website.
Okay.
There you go. It's a setback setup for a comeback on the website. You get the digital version, you get the ebook, you can get the hardcover book, you can get the audio book. Just go get it.
Go get it. And I tell you what, Dr. Jolley, what we're going to do is make this April's book of the month.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, we're going to make that one our April book of the month. A setback is a setup for a comeback.
No. That's what you need right now.
No.
That's what you need right now. Setback setup for a comeback. And if you go get the williejolly.com/greenback, how to turn your, those 7 points are actually from the turn setbacks into greenback.
Okay,
you can
setback
get
for
that at williejolly.com/greenback. I know that because we've been doing that on my XM show, and people have been going to get it because they just want to know, hey, what I got to do to get this greenbacks. williejolly.com/greenbacks, and you can get the book, audio book, the combo. It's a whole combo. The book, audio book, and you get the digital book, all for $49. I mean, that's a great deal.
Okay. Well, actually, what we're going to do is make the setback into greenbacks. All this comeback and back and back.
I get the greenback because I talk about the setback and the comeback in the greenback.
Okay.
Kind of revamp for those people who are not ready.
Okay. So
get the greenback.
Yeah, we'll make that one the April book of the month.
So those
The greenbacks.
principles work.
Yes.
They work.
Absolutely.
And those are
Very
7
powerful.
principles I got from the Duke Greens, the Bob Johnsons, the people who I interviewed who went from broke and busted and disgusted to millionaires and billionaires. Michael V. Roberts and his brother Stephen, 2 black billionaires out of St. Louis. Those are the ones who will tell you how to get through this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's definitely powerful. Dr. Champion, you had something you were
Okay.
talking
No, we've moved on.
You moved on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. We're going to make that book the book of the month. Set back into greenbacks, definitely powerful, and we've added already in the link those sites that you told us, you shared with us to go to, and we've shared them in the thread. So definitely, man, you have definitely just blessed us, because again, we're in such turmoil, and and sometimes you're not getting the right information, and you find yourself in front of the television watching and waiting and watching, and it never comes, and then before long you got yourself in about 4 hours of just watching a bunch of nothing. But now you're anxious, and now you don't know which way to go. But definitely, I thank you so much for giving us the 7 principles, and we also have placed those in the thread as well as your links, and you have. As always, you have definitely blessed us. But ladies and gentlemen, we will get through this. Is available iTunes, and give us another place we can get that, Dr. Jolley.
That song?
Yes, the song.
Yeah. You know what? If people would just send me an email,
okay,
we'll send them the email we send out to our newsletter list. If
okay.
Send an email to info@williejolly.com. That's our gift. I'm happy to do that.
Okay, all right, and we'll put that in the thread as well.
Yeah, just info@williejolly.com, and I'm happy to have our team send it to them.
Absolutely, and we'll turn that into April's book, and then sometime in April, you'll just stop back past, and we'll be through all of this pandemic.
We're going to be past this pandemic. We're going to be past the pandemonium.
Yes, sir.
But last but not least, you will appreciate this, because y'all both men of faith and both theologians. One of my dear theologian friends, Glenna Salisbury, sent out an email and said, understand that God got us, those who are willing to shelter in place and do the things. So God's got us. Don't be foolish. He doesn't tell you to jump off no bridges and say, but understand this pandemic that is going. It's taken from the word pandemonium. Pandemonium is taken from the Greek word pan, which means all, and demic, which means demonic. All demonic is the pandemonium.
Yes, sir.
Pandemic. Part of pandemonic.
Got you, brother. Got you.
Is that good or is that good?
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome, man.
Tell folks, don't jump off no bridges.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The devil will not win. We shall win.
Yes, sir. And as always, Dr. Jolley, thank you so much for joining us, man. Definitely. And you are truly a blessing.
Keep doing the good God's work. Y'all are making a difference.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Peace and blessings to you.
Peace and blessings.
All right.
All right.
Dr. Champion.
Yes, sir.
What say you?
Man, I tell you what, have we not been blessed today?
Man.
And I tell you, and I just want to he got off the phone, but just to say thank you to Dr. Jolley for being with us today, for leaving us with those 7 tips. And one thing I will say as we kind of get ready to close out is that he gave 7 steps, and you notice that they were all action words. They were not anything where you just sit back and wait. And I think that many of us in this time that we find ourselves in, when we're confined and told that we can't do all the things that we normally want to do, we think that's a time to not do anything. It just means it's time to do something different. And I think that's his message to us today. And what I would say to people is that, you've prayed for things, and you've asked God for things, and you've made plans, and you've set goals, but God has given you something that you've asked for in this moment. God has given you time. So your goals and your plans haven't been derailed. Actually, now you have time to focus on those things that you've been saying, I got to do this and I got to do that, and I don't have time to do all those things that I've been telling God I want. And during this time, I just say to those that focus on the things that you've set out to do, and that use this time wisely, because it's a gift from God. Now, stay healthy, stay strong, but also stay true to the things that you want, because God will give you what your heart desires. But you got to stay focused on that goal that you've told God that you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's nothing else for me to say but amen, and pass the plate. Definitely, God, thankful for Dr. Jolley. Thank you, Dr. Champion. Very blessed. But one thing I will say is we will get through this.
Amen.
Keep the faith. We will get through this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our time is up, and we definitely thank you for yours. And remember, right after the show, we will have this aired on YouTube. So definitely go to my Brother's Keeper YouTube channel and subscribe and share. And remember, when good men stand together, they become greater. We are our Brother's Keeper. And see you on the other side of greatness. God bless you. See you next week.
Amen. Bye-bye now.
My Brother's Keeper Show, I gotta let them know. Tuesday, 7 p.m., gotta let them know. 3 M's, mental model, gotta multiply. God gets all the glory, hands in the sky. My Brother's Keeper Show, I gotta let them know. Tuesday, 7 p.m., gotta let them know. 3 M's, mental model, gotta multiply. God gets all the glory, hands in the sky. My Brother's Keeper Show. Introduce the host. My brother.